Welcome to Phase 1, Observation, Exploration, and Structural Classification, where we delve into the introductory methodology of plant study.
This phase focuses on developing scientific observation skills, appreciating nature through our senses, and classifying plants based on visible external characteristics like height, stem texture, and branching patterns. Our journey begins not with definitions, but with an immersive narrative featuring Dr. Raghu, a scientist, and Maniram Chacha, a community expert, guiding students on a nature walk. The importance of multisensory observation is highlighted. Students are encouraged to notice the variety of smells and carefully listen to different sounds, such as unique bird chirps. This approach grounds the scientific method in curiosity and direct experience, fostering a deeper connection with the natural world. The concept of biodiversity is introduced through this diversity of sights and sounds, ranging from grasses and bushes to large trees, butterflies, and monkeys. Students are tasked with recording these observations in specific tables, noting the plant's name, stem features, leaf arrangement, and flower details. This transforms passive walking into active scientific data collection, making every step an opportunity for learning. The core theme is established early. Nature is not uniform. Each bird has a unique chirp, illustrating uniqueness. This concept is extrapolated to plants, where students observe variations in size, from tall to short. They also notice differences in texture, such as hard versus soft stems. Leaf morphology varies with different shapes and arrangements, adding to the plant's unique identity. Floral characteristics also show variations in color, shape, and scent, making each flower distinct. Once the concept of diversity is established, we move to structural classification of plants, also known as taxonomy. The primary question posed is, how do we group plants? Grouping makes it easier to study organisms based on their similarities and differences. The first major scientific classification is based on the plant's habit, specifically its height and stem nature. Students are guided to categorize plants into three distinct groups: herbs, shrubs, and trees. Herbs are typically small or short plants, possessing soft, green, and tender stems. They do not usually have a woody structure, and their green, bendable stems are tender to the touch. A textbook example of a herb is the tomato plant, easily recognizable by its characteristics. Shrubs are medium-sized plants, larger than herbs, but not as tall as trees. They have hard stems, but these stems are not thick like a tree trunk. A defining feature is that branching typically starts very close to the ground, giving the plant a bushy appearance. Textbook examples include the rose plant and hibiscus, also known as gudhel. Trees are tall plants, possessing hard, thick, brown, and woody stems, often called trunks. Their branches arise higher up on the stem, significantly away from the ground, forming an expansive canopy. The mango tree and deodar tree are classic examples of this category. The text also briefly touches upon additional categories of plants that do not fit the standard vertical growth model. Climbers are plants with weak stems that need external support to grow upward, like grapevines. Creepers, on the other hand, are plants that spread along the ground, like ground ivy with prostrate runners. This phase establishes the foundational skill of a biologist, looking at the chaos of nature and finding order through grouping. By categorizing plants based on tangible, easily observable physical traits, students learn that diversity is structured. Activities reinforce this by encouraging students to touch, bend gently, and measure plants, moving from qualitative appreciation to quantitative categorization. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of plant classification. Stay curious and keep observing the wonders of nature.
This phase moves from the external habit of a plant to more specific anatomical details like leaves, roots, and seeds.
Crucially, it introduces the correlations between these parts, a fundamental concept in botany. It also transitions into the animal kingdom, examining diversity through the lens of movement and body mechanics. The study deepens by asking students to look closely at leaves, defining venation as the pattern of veins on the leaf. Two distinct types are identified: reticulate venation, a net-like pattern found on both sides of a thick middle vein, exemplified by the hibiscus leaf. The second type is parallel venation, where veins run parallel to one another, as seen in banana leaves and grass. The text then directs attention downward to the root systems, where students observe the underground structure. Two types of roots are defined. The taproot system, which consists of one main root with smaller side roots branching off, like those of mustard and hibiscus. The fibrous root system, on the other hand, features a bunch of similar-sized, thin roots arising from the base of the stem, with no single main root, common in grass and wheat. One of the most significant scientific takeaways is the relationship between leaf venation and root type, which is not random. Plants with reticulate venation generally have taproots, such as chickpea and sadabahaw. Conversely, plants with parallel venation generally have fibrous roots, like wheat and lemongrass. The investigation goes one step further into seed structure, where students learn to identify dicots and monocots. Dicots, or dicotyledons, are seeds that split into two parts, corresponding to the reticulate venation and taproot group. Monocots, or monocotyledons, have a single thin cotyledon, aligning with the parallel venation and fibrous root group. This creates a complete classification triangle. Group A with reticulate venation, taproot, and dicot characteristics, and Group B with parallel venation, fibrous root, and monocot characteristics. The text then shifts focus to animals, exploring their diversity primarily through movement. It acknowledges the vast diversity in animal shape, size, and color, but zooms in on locomotion. Animals exhibit various modes of movement, including flying, running, crawling, walking, hopping, jumping, and swimming. Different animals use different body parts to achieve these movements. Birds, like pigeons, use their legs and wings. Fish, of course, use their fins to navigate through water. Insects, such as ants and cockroaches, primarily use their legs for locomotion. Snakes and earthworms, on the other hand, utilize their entire body to crawl and move. This phase represents a deepening of scientific inquiry, moving from what does it look like to how are these parts connected. The pedagogical shift is significant. Students are no longer just naming things, they are predicting features. For example, if you see parallel veins, you can predict the roots are fibrous without digging. This phase also highlights the diversity of function, like movement, alongside the diversity of form or anatomy.
Welcome to Phase 3 of our journey, where we bridge biology with ecology to understand why plants and animals appear the way they do. This phase introduces the crucial concepts of habitat and adaptation, exploring how living things thrive in their specific environments. We'll delve into fascinating case studies, from the resilient camel to unique mountain plants and aquatic life, before concluding with a powerful message on conservation and biodiversity. First, let's define habitat. It's simply the place where plants and animals live, providing them with essential food, water, air, and shelter. Habitats are broadly classified into two main categories: terrestrial, meaning living on land, and aquatic, for those living in water. Terrestrial habitats include diverse environments like dense forests, vast deserts, towering mountains, and expansive grasslands. Aquatic habitats encompass ponds, tranquil lakes, flowing rivers, and the immense, deep oceans. Interestingly, some animals like amphibians, such as frogs, are unique in their ability to thrive in both terrestrial and aquatic environments. Next, we explore adaptation, the special features that enable plants and animals to survive and flourish in their particular region. These adaptations are crucial for their survival, allowing them to find food, avoid predators, and reproduce successfully. Our first case study is the camel, a remarkable animal that showcases incredible adaptation to desert extremes. We'll compare the hot desert camel of Rajasthan with its cold desert counterpart in Ladakh to see how they've evolved differently. The hot desert camel has long legs to keep its body elevated from the scorching sand and wide hooves to prevent sinking. Its single hump stores food, providing energy during periods of scarcity, and it conserves water by excreting minimal urine and dry dung without sweating. In contrast, the cold desert camel of Ladakh has shorter legs for stability on mountainous terrain. It typically has two humps, which can shrink when food is scarce, and long, thick hair from head to neck provides essential warmth against the cold. Our second case study focuses on mountain plants, specifically the deodar trees. These trees possess a distinctive conical shape with sloping branches, an adaptation that allows snow to slide off easily, preventing breakage. Rhododendrons also show remarkable adaptation. In high wind areas like the shola forests, they are short with small leaves. However, in lower mountain regions, they grow taller, demonstrating their ability to adapt to varying wind and altitude conditions. Our final case study explores aquatic life, focusing on the incredible adaptations of fish. Fish possess a streamlined body and fins, a perfect design that reduces resistance and helps them swim efficiently through water. This natural engineering allows them to navigate currents and pursue prey with minimal effort. Finally, we turn to the ethical dimension of our study: conservation and biodiversity. We celebrate famous Indian scientists like Janaki Ammal, a botanist who bravely saved the Silent Valley, and Salim Ali, renowned as the Birdman of India. However, biodiversity faces severe threats, primarily habitat destruction, which leads to the loss of homes and vital resources for countless species. Many species are now endangered, including the magnificent Bengal tiger, the swift cheetah, and the iconic Great Indian bustard. Thankfully, significant conservation efforts are underway, such as Project Tiger, launched in 1973, and the recent cheetah reintroduction in 2022. Sacred groves, community-protected forests, also play a vital role in preserving local biodiversity. This final phase integrates our observations and anatomical knowledge into a holistic understanding of life, teaching us that diversity is a functional response to the environment. The inclusion of real-world conservation projects and Indian scientists grounds these scientific concepts in our national heritage and civic responsibility. It urges us all to protect the invaluable treasure of biodiversity for future generations. Thank you for joining us on this educational journey.